guys, all right, welcome to the first training. This is the My Spirit Business Accelerator program. This is our first in the series of many, thank you, Melinda. This is our first in a series of many trainings where we're going to give you all of the tools and resources that you need to be able to really push the accelerator button or pedal down for your spiritually based business or your spirit business, whatever that may happen to be, okay? Some of this is going to be fun and exciting. Some of it's going to be boring as hell. But I promise you in the end, all of these things are pieces that will be necessary for you as you move through your business. You know, some of this may be, again, a little early, but later on you'll go, oh, I remember Mike saying something like that. Or you'll say, oh my gosh, I forgot we didn't include anything to make this contain some sort of viral loop aspect. So all these things, even though, again, they seem complex, it's important that we mention them now so that later on you begin to implement them in your entire business, okay? So I'll go through the calculator and really in depth as much as I can on each of the cells, and this calculator training can be used for you later on. And then if we have time, depending upon what it looks like at the end and the questions, I will answer any other questions you might have on any other subject. It doesn't matter. I literally will share everything with you without reservation. Sound good? Okay, awesome. Feel free to ask or interject questions at any point in time. Just stick them on in there, and I will answer them immediately, okay? And I'm not going to call on anyone's names, so just when you ask a question, normally I say names, but I want to make sure that you guys understand that your privacy is going to be respected, and that as we move through this, there is no dumb question, there are no stupid questions, there are only revealing questions. So any question you ask will be good. Because I've been doing this for so long now, I forget stuff that's like, oh, you know, what's a CPM? Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. I probably should have mentioned that, right? So please do ask a question, and I will not mention your name at all in your questions. I'll just say a question. Does that sound good? Okay, awesome, guys. All right, let's get started. So again, first of all, the ad ROI analysis, or what I used to call the LTV, lifetime value calculator, it's designed to do one very important thing. It's to help you to see the total picture of where the revenue for your business is going to come, and also how that revenue affects your bottom line and your ability to expand your business, okay? So I don't know, can you see this? I shared this Excel window. I don't know if you can actually see the Word window. Can you see the Word window or not? No? Okay. All right then. So we don't need to show you the Word window. Anyway, all I had was a regurgitation of this required information at the top here, okay? So, oh, you can see it. Oh, awesome. Sweet. Okay. Or maybe that's wrong. Crap. But it's okay. Same stuff. Moving right along. All right, first of all, the ad ROI calculator, let's look at some of the what the explanations mean. There's required info here, and then I put in here also what it means, and I'll explain in layman's terms what each of these things are, okay? So I built this to be able to handle both CPM or Cpc advertising. Those are the two dominant types of advertising. CPM is you pay for every impression. So someone sees your ad, you're paying for that, right? You don't really care how many, well, you care, of course, but the publishers don't care how many clicks your ad gets because you're not paying them for clicks. Now, this is a more advanced style of advertising because when you get really good, you want to pay per impression because your ads get so much more clicks than everyone else's that you actually end up winning, right? That's how it used to be a lot. Now it's a little bit different where it's all auction based, which means that everybody bids and whoever makes the most money wins. So we don't use CPM much anymore, but if some of you are still out there doing CPM advertising, let's say as an example, you're like, hey, you know what, I only have a $300 a month budget, and I don't want to put ads on Facebook, but I found a website and it's called momandpopmeditations.com. Mom and Pop Meditations will let me put up an ad for, and they say it'll get about 100 impressions a day, right? So 100 people will see my ad. Well, for that $300, that could be a pretty good pretty good spend for you, because momandpopmeditation.com is a perfect match for your audience. So in that case, you're going to get 300 impressions a day. Over the course of 30 days, you're going to get, what is that? I suck at math. So 300 times 10 is, 100 times 10 is 1,000. So you get 3,000 impressions, right? So you get 3,000 impressions for that $300. So does that make sense? So in other words, you're going to be paying, what is that, $30 CPM, $30 per thousand, something to that effect? $100 per thousand. Okay, but it's generating enough clicks that it makes sense for you, and those are the perfect buyers. So let's say you have a $10,000 masterminder, or you have a $5,000 coaching program, or you have a $1,000 coaching program. If you just get 2 customers a month from momandpopmeditation.com, you pay for that ad in spades over and over again. So that's one case example where you would use CPM advertising and can do it at a low cost rate. A lot of places, websites will have small little, buy this ad for $50. So you can play around with not a lot of money. That's the point here. Okay. All right. So your estimated average. So again, the CPM is an impression. An impression is a one-time showing of your banner or your button on a website. You can enter last month's number in to calculate your last month's ROI and to project your next month's revenue. CPM is the cost per 1,000 impressions. So if someone says that for these 1,000 impressions you're going to pay $1, then you're paying $1 per 1,000 impressions. Okay, that's CPM. Cost per M is 1,000, by the way. Cost per 1,000 is the Roman numeral for 1,000. Your click-through rate is your number of click-throughs you receive divided by the number of impressions. So, for example, if you pay for 5,000 impressions and you get 50 click-throughs, that means you're getting a 1% click-through rate. A 10% click-through rate of 5,000 would be that you received 500 clicks. Get it? So 1% is 50 clicks. Much easier to do with larger numbers and even numbers. That's how I always do things, because I suck at math. Your conversion rate is the conversion, and these are all going to be very important numbers for you as we move through this, okay? Your conversion rate is the percentage of visitors who come to your site from a banner or a button who convert into customers. So, for instance, for making a purchase. The conversion rate can also be your conversion rate to an email address or to any other thing that you want to measure. So it could be to a customer, or it could be to, again, to an email, or it could be to a share. Whatever that conversion rate is, or whatever action is you want them to take, you can measure that conversion rate. So they do vary by company, but an industry standard would be 2 to 3%, or depending upon the price of the product. Obviously, something that sells for $1 would convert higher than something that sells for $1,000. Okay? So these are going to be very, very important things for you to be aware of. Your conversion rate and your click-through rate, right? Those are the 2 things that we really pay attention to at every level of your website, and we're going to help you to pay attention to all those things in a very simple fashion. Next is the average profit per conversion. So profit refers to the amount of money that you earn from a conversion. For example, if you sell a teacup for $10 and it only costs you $7 to sell that teacup, your profit would be $3. For this, estimate the average amount of profit you make from each conversion. So in other words, again, if we're talking about that teacup, you sell it for $10, your cost being 7 and your profit is 3, you would enter in the 3, right? You would not enter in the 7 or the 10. You enter in the 3, because last thing you want to do is put numbers into your spreadsheet or numbers into your business that are false. Because a lot of people make this mistake. They're like, oh, I sold this for $37, and guess what? Well, you sold it for $37 and you're thinking you're making money, but when it comes time to pay the bill, you forgot the fact that the merchant account takes $3 and that you have to pay the person who made the program for you $5. So now you're really, say you have to pay them $4. Now you're down to $30. So if you put 37 and you're sitting here thinking you're making money, you're actually losing money. So it's important for you to always look at your profit on your products, right? If you're doing physical products, we can discuss that later. If you're doing digital products, those should be minimal, which is why you see a lot of people selling digital products. Okay? Is everybody following me so far? I just want to make sure you're all with me. Good. Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, guys. Okay, so let's move along. So again, click through, conversion, and profit. And not sale, but profit. Profit's what matters. Okay? I'm gonna pass by the CPM here because most of you won't use that. If you want to use it, you just enter in your monthly number of impressions. You enter in your click-through rate from the banner that you have, and then you enter in your average CPM. Okay? And it will calculate all that for you. We're going to skip that because most of you guys, I'm going to say stay away from that for right now. I can do another training on direct advertising and buying from small websites like I talked about earlier. I did it for, I don't do it anymore, but I did it for about 10 or 12 years. So very easy to do a training for you on that if you want to and if you decide to, okay? Remember, I'm here to serve you. Okay, so next is Cpc Advertising. Let's change these to figures that might be more tolerable for you. So everything works from, I'm a big math guy, right? So let's go to the calculator. So if I'm going to spend, let's see, we have 60 cents a click. Let's say I'm going to put in a decent budget. So I'm going to spend $500 this month, right? Which may not sound high to some of you, but you know, for those of you just starting at 500 might sound like a lot. So let's do 500 divided by 60 cents, right? Wait, did I do that right? No, I did that wrong. See, I told you, you don't have to be a mathematician. Wait, is that right? 833? Let's find out. See, this is why the calculator is great. 833. So 833 times 60 cents. Yeah, that is right, yeah, because your cost will be $500. See, calculated it for you. It's like, okay, I'm going to only spend $500 this month. That's it. That's my budget. Okay? $500 if it costs me 60 cents a click, then my average cost per click is 60 cents, and my total number of clicks for the month is 833 for my $500 spend. Okay? That's pretty easy to understand, right? Now, you may not know right away what your cost per click is, but you can make some projections. If you're doing video ads, you're going to get clicks for less. If you're doing image ads, these are on Facebook I'm referring to right now, that'll cost you less. If you're doing Google, Google will cost you less than Facebook, but Google won't convert as high as Facebook to buyers, and we'll go over all of this. Remember, you don't have to remember everything. This is just for the sake of putting stuff in the spreadsheet. You're going to have videos on all of this, and you know, best advertising sources, everything. You're getting all of this in this course. Okay, so 60 cents is a good conservative estimate. Some people end up paying more, some people end up paying less, but we'll leave that at that figure. So then you put in your email conversion rate. What is it? What is the when someone lands on your page? Remember, 100 people come in, 19 will end up giving you their email address from those 100. 19%, that's a pretty good figure. Again, you have people who, Kylie, she says she always gets over 60%. I don't want to put that in here for you because I think that that might be a false positive for you. You may not be able to hit that right away. 19% should be a very easily achievable figure for you. But you can see what will happen if we change some of these values around, which we'll do in just a moment. So let's say that let's just leave, actually, let's change it to 20 so it'll make the numbers easier for you. 20%. Now it's round, right? I like round figures. All right, now your value per email address. So again, email conversion rate, 100 people come, 20 people give you your email, that's a 20% conversion rate. Pretty straightforward. You'll be able to determine all of these things from your Google Analytics reporting, and we're going to show you how to set all of that up. It's very, very simple. We use some ridiculously easy ways to set these things up, and Mike D is going to be teaching you some of this in some other side courses. By the way, Mike D, you're doing some other courses. Okay, next is your value per email address, okay? This is a very important factor because you could be doing things one of a couple different ways, right? You could be selling something at the first point of contact. So after I give you my email address and I hit that submit button, you could be introducing me to the fact that you sell stuff through what Brian Dice calls a tripwire. I used to call it the we sell stuff page. The page after somebody opts in that tries to sell you something is to let the customer know I sell stuff. It's very important for them not to feel like you're deceiving them. And what will happen is if you say, hey, come and get my free product, and they enter their email address, and then later on you try and sell them something in the email sequence, they're going to sit there and go, oh man, you said this was free and now you're trying to sell me something, and they get very upset. So what we try to do in our landing pages where we're collecting the email is to let them know we're giving you this to prove to you our value and our worth so we can earn your trust so that you'll buy our products. And we're very upfront, and that's why we sometimes see lower conversion rates to email. Now you don't have to do that. You can do it in any way that feels right to you. But after they opt in, then you're going to sell them something, and that's where the day zero value comes in. So if you sold them something, you don't include that here. Those numbers are right here, if you sold them something on the first day, right? Right here is where you take in, okay, again, they bought stuff after the first day of the email series. They are in my autoresponder. I'm sending them automatic messages, and those automatic messages sell them things from other people. You know, if you're using an affiliate program, or you're going to sell them coaching later on, or you're going to sell them any other program that you've either created or want to share. Okay, those, when you measure those later, you establish how much each email address is worth to you. $5 is a pretty, I believe that's a pretty conservative figure, because if you look at just 1 year alone, then that means that that person only has to give you in essence 40 cents per month. That's pretty easy to do, and we'll teach you how to do that too, okay? Through ethically and morally sharing content from other people that you have met who you believe in, because you don't need to, or nor should you try to be the end all be all answer for every person who comes to you. You should be introducing them to other people who can help them if they haven't bought from you yet. And by being that balanced and objective voice, they'll end up trusting and respecting you even more, okay? So I placed in here $5 for my future value. Again, not counting anything I sold to them today from this area here. These are today's sales, okay? I should probably just put a little cell around that thing. Let's just do that. We'll just call that today's sales, right? So your day zero conversion rate. So of those 20 people, so remember 100 people came in and 20% of them gave you their email address. Of that 20%, which in the case of 100 people would be 20 people, of the 20 people, one of them decided to give you money, right? Is that right? No, 10%. So it'd be two of them. Two of them decided to give you their money. So this 2% conversion rate, this is based on the clicks. This isn't based off the email submits, right? So 2% of everyone who arrived at your website said, you know, you have 20 people give you email, 2 people give you a purchase. They spend that money with you, that $19 on the front end, or that $20, or the $30, or the $100, whatever. You get to decide what that figure is, okay? Next, and you enter these based on that first spend. So you spend your $500. You're like, oh, okay, I spent $500, and this is what I got. You know, maybe you have no sales. You would just put a 0. You got no sales at all. You have no conversion rate, which means that down here the spreadsheet adjusted and you have no sales coming in. But you're going to end up making email money, right, on your $500 spend, because you're going to make that $5. Okay, so we'll get to that later. But let's just say hypothetically you actually can make a sale. Which will show, oh, you don't want 1, you want 0.2, 2%. By the way, when you enter these figures in, make sure you're using decimals. So 0.02 would be 2%, right? 0.5 is 50%. So you want to make sure you're using your decimal correctly. And now again, this is your day zero value per conversion. And that means how much was that person worth to you the first time when they bought from you on that first day. This is the money that's going to be used to help make sure that you can continue to spend money every single month and not have to do what's called managing your receivables. You don't want to end up in a situation where you're losing money, at least right away, where you're losing money for a larger period of time. Most of the large businesses I know they'll lose money up to the first 20 days, and they're happy to do it because they know they have a credit card where they could pay those credit card balances off before the 30-day period, and they can use their credit card as the float to manage that receivable. So they look and they go, okay, well, I don't get as many conversions. I don't get enough conversions to pay for my upfront, right? So if we look at this down here, at a 2% conversion ratio and $37 per sale, it costs you $500 to buy those people, right, for the month. You had 830 clicks, you collected 167 emails, and your income from your day zero was 616. So you actually made a profit. But what happens if you don't? What if you're only selling $20? Well, now you can see your day zero, you've lost $167 for the month, but you end up getting it back over time, because you're going to end up coming in at $1,200, which we'll look at later on. But you end up making more money than your $500, even with very low conversion rates and very low priced products. Does that make sense to you? I'm going to ask right now, I'm going to pause for just a second, see if there's any questions. Are there any questions so far? And if not, that's okay. Remember, no dumb questions. Or if you want me to clarify anything, I'm happy to do so. Not yet? Bueller. All right, good. Not good. I mean, I'm happy if there was some. I'm happy either way. I just like doing this. This is fun for me. Okay, so obviously you want the persons to end up spending more at day zero, to at least hit that break-even point. This helps you in your cash flow management. But after you hit the break-even point, then you really want to start monitoring and measuring, okay, did I push it too far, and now I'm losing money and my value per email address starts to go down. How can that happen? I'll give you an example. If you have people coming into your funnel and they are you push this day zero value per conversion up to $50, right? But now your value per email address drops to $1 over the course of the next year. Why? How can that happen? Anybody have a guess? Why would someone give you more money the first day and then over the rest of the year not give you any more money? No, that's not it. I don't want to pick on anybody either, so I'm not gonna. That's the right answer. No value. You didn't establish a value. You tricked them into buying, and this is why. Thank you very much. That was a perfect answer. You tricked them into buying from you. You used pressure or scarcity tactics, and then all of a sudden you're like, yes, we're making all this money right away. But in the long term, nobody's buying anything else from you because they feel tricked and deceived. They're sitting there going, God, I gave that guy my $50 or that girl my $50, but I feel slimy at the end of this. I shouldn't have done that. And they'll call and they'll refund, and they'll call and they'll cancel, or they'll do a chargeback on your credit card. They don't feel good about the engagement because you pushed them too hard. That's why Kylie and I are so emphatic about using moral and positive marketing techniques that leave the people feeling valuable. Because look at this. Now at $50 and $1, right, we come down. We got at a $50 front end value, we've got a total profitability of 273%, right? Well, remember, your viral loop is going to go away because if somebody's not feeling good about what you've sold them, you cannot count on them sharing it with anybody. So now, okay, guess what? You've lost your viral loop. No one's telling anyone about what they did because they feel guilty. Now you're down to 160% profit, and then if we take out membership, so your membership now, which was at 100% conversion rate, maybe it is. Maybe you forced them into a membership, and that's why they're canceling, and they're not having any more value in the future. So you go, okay, well, their stick rate will only be 1 month now because they have a bad experience. Now you start seeing how that money just keeps going away and away and away. So the value, and thank you for saying that, the value is the most important thing you can give. Right? So you don't really care as much once you get past that day zero break even, or at least even just what you can tolerate, right? You don't really care to make that value stacked on day zero, as you've probably been told. What's more important is how can you make sure that over time those people continue to buy from you and buy from the people you recommend, right? That's why your affiliate revenue that you're going to, the other products that people you'll be introducing them to becomes a big, big piece of this. And we're going to teach you how to measure that. We're going to teach you how to measure all of these things, okay? Okay, next, we got those. We got your sale conversion rate. You understand this very well now. I'd much rather have a $5 value per email than a day zero high value. So we're going to come back down to, let's come back down to, I don't know, 20 is just really, really low. But let's say that your day zero cart value comes in at $40. That's a very reasonable day zero cart value, meaning that they bought a $20 product, you have a $50 upsell. If you don't know what that means, we'll get into that. Basically, after someone buys a product, they have the opportunity to buy other products. That's called an upsell. And then on the downsell side, that's when you go to buy a product and you buy a product for $1,000, and then there's something that you can add in for only $200 now. So that's called a downsell. So it upsells when you have something I've come in for $50, and then you upsell me to a higher product, and then you can downsell me to a lower product, depending upon how you want to work that upsell tree. As Mike Filsame ended up calling it from a conversation when I was explaining all of this a long, long, long time ago. So, by the way, I am an expert at upsells, downsells, and cross-sells. We will be covering those also in the course, so you will know exactly what to do. This is going to be a massive education for you guys. You're going to freaking love this. But just remember, baby steps, one step at a time. I'm trying to kind of reveal the landscape of where we're going, but you're going to baby step through all of this. We'll make sure we hold you through every single step, okay? All right. So $40 is a reasonable day zero, for everybody that comes in. On average, they give you $40. On average, 2 out of 100 will give you money. The other 98 will not give you money, and roughly 80% will go away without even giving you an email address. We'll talk about retargeting later, but there's a way to get, let me just tell you, there's a way to get those other 80% back, even if they don't give you the email address, and it's absolutely ninja. It is so easy to do, and they'll continue to come back and end up buying from you later, even though they didn't give you an email address. That's another value in the spreadsheet, but I don't want to, it's already complicated enough, right? Okay, you guys still with me? Everybody still awake? Up, 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 up. Yep. All right. Yep. Oh, good, good, good. Okay. So now if we look, obviously this is empty because you don't have any CPM advertising costs. You can look at your CPC cost if this is going to be your Facebook ads. But by the way, guys, Facebook is fantastic. I'm going to recommend, and Kylie will probably recommend the same, just focus on Facebook for now. Based on it depends upon your niche, of course. There are other different niches where there are other platforms that might do good for you or better for you, but Facebook is the best. It's the best. Okay. This is your CPC advertising. I'm going to put in here Facebook, Google, mobile, etc. Okay. This is your number of clicks, total number of clicks from ads to your website. Okay, so for the month you had 833 clicks. These are small figures, but I want to keep it reasonable for you. Okay, you collected 167 emails for the month, right? You now we'll look at your number of conversions from your paid traffic will be 17. Remember, these are day zero sales, right? These are day zero sales. Sales from your paid traffic. Now that doesn't count the sales that you made from your autoresponder, from the people who are getting your emails on an ongoing basis. Those are calculated into the email value per email address. And it's very important you separate those, and I'll teach you how to separate them. Now the viral loop factor, referrals are everything. They're everything in the world. We call it share-worthy in our company. So if you are not doing something that is share-worthy, then you need to ask yourself, How can I make my product better so that people will want to share what they've just experienced, right? Some niches are a little more complicated than others, and it takes a little more out-of-the-box thinking to find out, how can I make a psychic reading share-worthy, right? How can I make a numerology report share-worthy? How can I make my coaching business share-worthy? Well, we'll talk about how to do that using badges and internal identity, where people place their identity as an individual. We'll talk about how to take your program and turn your program into something that actually becomes truly more valuable when they share it with someone else. Here's a good example. I received an email from someone a time back, and it said, "Hi, Mike. You're someone that I trust and respect." And it was a horribly written email, of course, but the point was appropriate. It should have been more personalized, but I'm going to read. I'll tell you what it said in essence. "You're someone that I trust and respect. I'm going through a program right now where I have to ask 10 of my friends to tell me the 5 traits that they think embody me the most, right? And could you please help me out by coming through and telling me honestly what you think of me? It is completely anonymous, and I just need to know the truth about myself," right? So in going through that program, I click on the link, I look at it, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, this guy really genuinely, in this case it was a guy, this guy really genuinely wants to know what I really think about him. I think that's fantastic because he's trying to better himself, right? You could do, any of you guys can do this in your coaching program or in any program. And then guess what happens? When I land on that site, I'm like, oh, I want to go through this. I think that would be neat. I want to know what people think of me for real. Or do I? And you really, those who are waking up, though, they do. They want to know, and they want to be able to fix those things, right? So naturally, what's this guy going to do? Well, he goes and he sends this interview out to 10 people that he knows. And of those 10 people, it is highly likely that someone else will want to start that same process and program, right? Are you guys following me on this? Give me a yes if any light bulbs came on. I want some sort of yes that some light bulb came on right now where you're like, oh my God, I see how I know I can figure this out. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Good, 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 good. And for those of you who are still on the fence, this may be something specific to your niche that we'll have to work out together. I'll help you. One of my gifts is I'm able to see how to turn anything into a positive. Like literally, I can see how to turn everything into a positive. So I can figure out how to make this into a positive for you. So, trying to think. I have a business that I've been helping for a number of years, and they do psychic readings, and that's I don't know where you feel about that, but everybody has an intuitive sense. Some people have a really strong intuitive sense. How would I do that for that business, right? That's like one of the most challenging businesses possible, right? I would construct it in a way that I would create something. It's a little bit more difficult with psychic because people get a little bit weirded out by it. I would create something where here's what I would do. I would call it intuition mastery, right? Right? I mean, that makes sense. Everyone gets it. Everyone loves the word intuition, but psychic, they kind of freak out about it a little bit. So I would start a domain name. I call it Intuition Mastery, and I would go to folks, and as people come through, I'd give them the reading, and I'd say, hey, here's your reading. I'd like for you to, I think that you need to, focus on these 3 areas, and then you could do the exact same thing. You might want to invite people to tell you or give you feedback on whether or not they think that some of these things that I've seen for you are true or not. You might be holding on to this or might be holding on to that you need to let go to move into the next phase of your life. So you can still use that same type of factor to be able to get people to interact. Do you guys follow me? I'm trying to formulate this on the fly, literally on the fly. We have to fully work this out. We can do it in future sessions, but that's one way of doing it. Another way is to say, hey, you know what? When you come in for a reading, I think it would be wonderful if we can have a reading with both you and your husband, or you and your girlfriend, or you and whoever, and we'll discount it for both of you guys, and then start figuring out how you can do group readings and couple readings and things of that nature. So again, I know that's kind of like the most out there possible scenario, but I want to emphasize that this can work for almost anything. There's very little that it can't work for. Maybe selling Insight, that may not be one that you'd want to use a viral loop on. Okay, cool. All right, next. So let's say you build a good program and you get a viral loop, but for every paid customer, you get 1/10 of a customer. So every 10 customers, you get one free customer, right? So now you got a viral loop of 0.1. So now you had 17 paid conversions of traffic. You're going to end up with 2 here because you got a 10%, and 10% of 17 is 1.7. It's going to round, so you end up with 2. Your income from your emails collected at your value per email now will be $833. Your day zero income was, this is where most people focus all of their attention and energy, and it results in the $666.40. Your day zero profit is $167, which, by the way, we're going to focus on this a lot, so we'll show you how to get this number where you want it, but then show you also how to incorporate the rest, because I'd much rather make $1,200 from a $500 spend than to make $600, right? And then we'll talk about your continuity. So I think most of you should probably have a continuity program. And again, what that means is membership, where people are paying you every single month. So if you're, we'll focus back on this, psychic reading thing for just a moment. If you're running a business like that, it'd be really easy for you to put people in for, $19 a month, and they get 20% off or 30% off of any reading that they do, and they get a free 5-minute call-in at any point in time once. 5 minutes will lead to longer sales. It'll increase consumption, and people will be happy because they're getting a discount, right? How difficult would that be? Very, very easy to do. And with Stripe and all the online processing platforms, you can end up with, 100 or 1,000 people. I mean, what if you end up with 500 people paying you $10 a month, right? That's $5,000 a month. You just took away all of your worry about rent, mortgage, your car payment, your electricity. All that's taken care of now. Now guess what? They're going to spend more money in the long run because they're going to end up consuming more of your product, right? And how long will they stay? Well, they'll stay as long as you end up making it valuable. And by the way, I have an entire training on this that we'll throw in on how to increase retention rates. And we actually go through and analyze when they drop out, how to make sure we keep them in, knowing when to send them the email that says, hey, here's a free gift. Thank you for being a valuable member at 3 months if they leave at the 4th month. All of this stuff has been scientifically deduced, and I'm happy to share all of it with you, okay? So let's say your conversion rate, after people come in, your conversion ratio is not 100%, it's only 10%. Actually, let's make it 20%, that's probably more reasonable. So you get a 20% conversion ratio, and people stay in an average of, I don't know, let's say 4 months. That's the industry standard anyway. They stay in an average of 4 months. And they're only paying you $9 a month. So your total membership value on that's only $132, right? Because if you look at this, your here's your cells. You look at your total number of conversions, which is 17, plus your 2, which is 19. 19 times the 20% means that you're only converting, these are people who bought, right? You're only converting 20% of those who bought into your membership programs. It's not a ton of money, right? But if you can get it up to 30%, it starts ending up being more. Remember, this is only with 19 sales, guys. This is with very, very, very low sales volume and very low traffic. And that doesn't count, of course, the other revenue that you're generating from the email list, okay? So at this rate now, you're like, oh man, I made 67 more from my viral. I made another $198 from my my membership traffic, and now I'm at $1,200 after my ad costs. I made $1,200 in profit, not $1,200 in revenue, $1,200 in profit, because your $500 is added to that $1,200. So you actually made $1,764 for your $500 in spend. And now your new actual value per customer comes in at $68.98, almost 70 bucks. Does that make sense to you? So now you're thinking, oh man, I really want to incorporate a couple of key things, if you can. I mean, remember, this all takes time, and it all is baby steps. The best thing to do is just to get started. Look at us. We didn't include a viral loop into this launch. We didn't include a membership model into this launch. We know there's going to be those things, but we did not want to wait. We wanted to get live right frickin' now. We wanted to just get started. So don't feel like you have to put any of these things in. They're icing on the cake that's going to bring more revenue for you in the future. Okay? All right, I'm getting a lot of yeses. Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to stop and then answer any questions you might have. Let's see if there's any questions whatsoever. I'm here for you guys. And if you have questions on this too, in the recording area, please feel free to ask them in there, and we'll get them answered for you as quickly as you can. My only request: don't ask them. Of course, now it's a little bit late for me to tell you this. I'll just make sure we put it in the text there on the page. But don't ask them in the middle of the recording on stuff that's covered, halfway, just 4 minutes further in the recording. That would be awesome. Okay, so again, by leveraging all these things, your viral loop is going to be huge, your membership is going to be huge, and your future value of your emails is going to be enormous. So all of those three things are going to be very important. You can ask about anything you want. Do you want me to unmute you, or do you want to just ask the question in the question box? Okay, cool. Question box is great. No problem. So we got a question coming in. Let's go ahead and make sure we answer that. Remember, nothing's off limits. Ask anything. It doesn't matter. Even if it's like, what did I have for breakfast? I haven't eaten yet. That's the answer. All right. Oh, okay. This is in regards to your emails that you're sending, right? So you're sending email and to people on it. Okay, great. So this person says, I have a 38% open rate, which means that they are sending out email to the list that they have now, and only 2% of people are clicking on those emails. So if she sends 100 email, 38 of those people open it, but only 2 people are clicking. Does that sound correct? I just want to make sure I have validation that that's correct. Yes, that is correct. Okay, so how do you increase that? That is a wonderful, wonderful question, and I'm so glad you asked it, because that is systematic of fracture, right? So let's break it down. So if 38, let's go back to the numbers, right? 38% open, so again, 100 people, 38 open, 2 click. So of the 38, so you look at each thing individually, if you can, to do your analysis. So if you send 100 emails and 38 open, that's actually not a bad open rate. That's a pretty good open rate. If that open rate had been 20% or 10% or less, then I'd say, okay, you need to work on your subject line, because the subject line is not working to get them to open, right? So you've got to change that subject line so that they're going to be enticed to open it. There are other factors, of course, too, technical factors, but let's not look at those for right now. We can later. So but knowing that you have a 38% open rate, that's good, okay? So 38% means they're opening the email. So you have to ask yourself, what did the subject line contain that resulted in a 38% open rate? And then further, was the message inside the email, did that match the subject line in a way that resulted in them taking action? So you've got them to take the first action, which is, I'm curious of what you're talking about. The second action is, I want to know even more about what you're talking about, okay? So if you don't mind, would you like to, or are you open to sharing a subject line and a possible email, or do you want to just kind of stay more general? I can do whatever you want. Yeah, sure. I'm going to hold on a second while that's collected for us. Here's what I have found, and Kylie may have found something different, but for me, for our list, when we have a huge open rate and a poor click rate, it's usually almost always one of 2 factors. Number one, the subject line was far too curiosity driven, and it did not really do the job of selling what was going to be in the email, right? You got them to open. or well, actually, that's going to be three things, or the subject line was a mismatch, right? So you did a great job of curiosity, and there was a mismatch in there where whatever you said in the subject line did not even remotely close to match what was in the ad copy inside the email, right? Another possible and common contributing factor, oh, sorry, let me turn that off there. So another contributing factor is the fact that you might have gone on too long. The email itself might be too long, where you're just like on and on and on about stuff that doesn't matter to them, and they get bored quickly, where you did a great job of enticing their interest, but when it came to the email, you just went way too far and nobody's clicking. Okay? Another factor is, well, you might not be a good copywriter. You know, it's entirely possible that the copy that you wrote is not really great. You're not connecting with that audience because you're either attempting to share a story that doesn't match you, or the words that you're using are just turning off the audience. That will only happen for so long, and then they'll just stop opening altogether. So I don't think that's the case necessarily here with Melinda. It might just be a mismatch. Okay, hold on just a second. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and, since we're moving off of this, hopefully this makes sense for you guys. I'm going to cut out this whole question section from the recording for this ad ROI analysis, and we'll put this in another area pertaining to email and how to effectively use email as a medium. Okay, so let's go ahead and kill that. Save that. All right, and let's go back to the chat, the questions. Okay, so the subject line was upcoming events, is that correct? Yes, okay. So everything, here's the important part, right? Everything is relative to the flow. So when someone asks me to review copy, or they ask me to review a page or anything along those lines, I always have to know, okay, what came first? What was the preceding portion of that item, right? So I'll have to ask some more questions if I can, but you can't figure out how to send the email to me? Oh, you did it. Good job. Okay, I'm going to copy this and put it in this notepad. Just a moment. Are you okay with me sharing this this email? With the group? This is good. This is going to really help. Okay, cool. Awesome. So there's two pieces to this email. Let's go ahead and look at it. Now, I don't know if Kylie's still here or not. If she's here, I'd love her input on this too after I'm finished, or in advance, however it works. But I'm going to go ahead and turn my screen sharing back on so you guys can see this email. Okay, so it said upcoming events was the title, was the subject line. So they're opening it, which is really wonderful. And it says, "Hi Jim," and I'm going to give you my reactions as I go through this. I'm just dropping a quick note to let you know I will be hosting a public demonstration of mediumship on Slidell on October the 5th. The event will be at Nick's Sports Bar, Fox's Pizza, from 7 to 9 p.m. Seating is extremely limited, so tickets should be purchased as soon as possible. And I encourage everyone to arrive early, grab some dinner, get in the mood for a fun night. Tickets are available online at melindaMaymiller.com/Nicks. Tickets are $30 in advance and $35 at the door. Door ticket availability will be based on pre-sales. I will also be available in Beaumont, Texas. Those are the dates. Private readings may be booked online here. If you prefer a group or home reading, please contact me to schedule. My availability and home service is filling up quickly for this trip. I'm excited and grateful to be back on the road and serving my people. Will you please forward this email to anyone who could benefit from it? What were they? I'm curious, Melinda, because what were they clicking on? What was it? Where's the click action here? What is it? Just I think it was up in here somewhere. Is that what you're measuring? There were links that didn't copy with my paste. Okay, no problem. So a couple of things that I think Kylie will be able to tell you really, really well, but I personally, I don't feel a connection to this email, right, at all. And I'm just being frank. So I think what's going to be really important for you is to make sure that you're remembering to make them the hero in this, and also for you to paint the picture of what they're going to get. So if I'm looking at this, what you're selling right now, it's selling me on the venue and not the result, right? And public demonstration isn't necessarily something that makes me get super excited. I would want to see this email redrafted in a way that that makes people, and I would think about my viral loop, of course, too, right? Because that's important. How can this be share worthy, right? So what's the first thing that, yeah, thank you for being patient. You're so patient with me. I would probably come from, I don't normally do this off the fly, but hold on just one second. Hi, Jim. The upcoming events. Hey, Jim. I'm so excited. I'm going to go ahead and pause for just a second, guys. I'm going to tap out this in 2 minutes, and I'll be right back. I have to do this like in a silo, but and I'll show you why I did each thing. Be right back. Ooh, I should say while I'm on pause, Kylie, if you're here, free to take the mic, my dear. If you're not here, then no problem. Got this. Okay, I'm back. Can you guys, I forgot to take the thing off. Could you hear me typing all that out? He's going for it. Okay, so this is what I came up with. Hey Jim, as you know, I love being a medium, and the only thing I love more than helping families connect to lost loved ones is helping many at once. The energy that fills a room when more than 10 people get together, all of them wanting and waiting to speak with the past loved one is so strong you can almost taste it. Notice what I'm doing there. I'm setting the stage. I'm setting the feeling that he's going to experience when he arrives. I'm setting that the power of group and how group can be more powerful than individual, and really making it a charged environment so that he says, man, I don't think about that. That's fantastic, right? So then I say, well, Jim, I have a small amount of seats for a group session coming up. If you can think of anyone that would love to come and watch, or you just want to come and join the group solo, tickets are only $30. So what did I do? I let him know, hey, you know what? Who would want to come? Who'd want to come and watch this? This is going to be cool, and it's only $30. That should be fun, right? I'll be at Nico's on this date and ABC on this date. And then you can include links after that, or you can link them right from the thing so people can go sign up. Of course, private work is still available, but it's filling fast. So if you feel the calling, let me know right away. And then you can put a link there if you wanted. No matter what, you've got to check out this video I made for you and my fellow loves on blah, 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 whatever, mediumship with whatever, talking to whatever. The point is you got to get that audience to continue to consume and to continue to interact and to feel your love and your passion for what you're doing. This is not love and passion. This is details and facts, right? Details and facts don't get me excited. What gets me excited is you being excited. Get excited when you write these damn emails and just share that love with people so that they can go, God, I love her, because I know you personally. You are a freaking ridiculous love train. I mean, you just exude a caring for people, and they're going to feel that. Make sure that when you write your emails, you exude that caring and that love to them so strong and so hard that they're like, wow, I love her. And even if they don't do anything with this email, you include a little something so they can connect with you right away. Because guess what? They may not be able to, if they can't connect from this message, right? Whoops. If they can't connect with this message, they're going to watch the video of you that you did for them, and then they're going to connect with you there, right? So this is, again, to take and tangibly land that plane, this is the incorporation of the viral loop right here, right? Really, really easy. Just one simple statement. More people create more energy. It's irrefutable. And can you imagine watching other people and watching them get excited? That's the funnest part, right? So I think the reason why you didn't get those clicks is twofold. One, there was no energy or motion in there. It was very detailed. And it was almost, this is like marketing, right? It's like seating is extremely limited. Of course it is, but I have a small group of seats. That's just as impactful, but it's more heart-based, right? The reframe to heart really matters, right? And then the downplaying of, well, I'll be at Nico's on this date and I'll be at this and this date. You got to come. I don't need to know the exact details. I just need to know that I want to click to learn more about where you're going to be, right? Again, you got me excited with the subject line, upcoming events, then you got me more excited about where to go, and then I'm going to continue to follow that low micro commitment train. Deal? Okay, I'm gonna send this to you. Do you mind terribly if I share this in the group, Melinda? Because I think everybody else could benefit from this too. I'd sure love to share this in the Facebook group so that everybody can see kind of a before and after reframe, and maybe it'll get them excited to watch this this training. Cool? Oh, you're so awesome. Thank you. Love you, hon. Okay, guys, we're at time. Is there any other questions? Because I want to make sure that I answer any others. Hopefully this was helpful for you. Know that while I am your stunt dork, I'm happy to teach you all of the technical ins and outs of running a business, I can also get super heartfelt because I like to have a balance of both. So hopefully you'll continue to see that as we move through this training together. No? Okay, cool. Looks like there's no more questions. Much love for you guys. Thank you so very much, and I'll look forward to seeing you. We're going to do another training next Friday. I believe that's the plan. I just need to confirm with Kylie that she's okay for those dates. I think we're going to be okay though. I'm going to try and do them every Friday at this exact same time so that you guys can have some fun with some good weekend homework, okay? All right, man. You guys are awesome. Much love. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.